How excited are you by this semi-final? A number of people have drawn parallels between this Italy side and your Sampdoria team from your playing days. You were asked this at the start of the tournament. I'd like to ask you it again now we're at Wembley for the semi-final. I think when everyone gets on very well, that's the best possible working environment. It's not easy to spend so much time together as a group of players. So the rapport that has been forged between the players, the staff and all of the support staff is excellent. We all get on very well and we want to go the whole way, and in order to do so we need to produce a top performance tomorrow night. Monica Vanali, Mediaset. Hi, Roberto. You're always very zen, positive. You're able to really convey all of that positive energy to everyone. But are you starting to feel a bit nervous ahead of this semi-final? When you build up to kick-off, of course, you do start to feel nervous, and the same goes for me. Before that, I don't necessarily feel nervous because you need to try and prepare things and need to try and keep as cool ahead as possible to commit as few mistakes as possible. But of course, nerves do build as you approach kick-off, and that's what's great about occasions such as these. Your microphone has been turned off. You should be on now, Andrea. Can you hear me? Yes, away you go. I almost hoped my microphone wouldn't work today either because of superstition. After the Austria game, you said that it would almost be easier to face Belgium, at least from a psychological perspective, if not necessarily from a footballing standpoint. Is it easier to play against Spain or more difficult than it was coming up against Belgium? No, I think it will be a tough match just as it was against Belgium. The difference is that the two teams have a different style of play. So we need to prepare for a different style of match, and they should pose us lots of problems. Austria was our first knockout match, and we knew that they would be a very aggressive side and they would try and stop us from playing, and that would cause us problems. And that proved to be the case. But the same will go for tomorrow night. I don't know how it will be tomorrow night, but it will certainly be a challenging match because Spain are an incredible team, and they have been for many years. Despite the fact that they have brought through some younger players, they still have an excellent squad and a very capable coach. I've got a question about Gianluca Vialli. We've never heard from Vialli over the course of this tournament. But how have the last 40 days been with Gianluca Vialli? What have you said to one another over the last 7 weeks? What has he given to you? We've really been struck by this relationship when you're on the bench together, when you hug each other in the dugout. Talk us through it. Gianluca and I have known each other for a very long time, so it's only natural that it's different. I'm not necessarily saying that we grew up together, but it's almost like that. We spent a number of years together, and we have a relationship that goes way beyond friendship. He's almost like a brother to me. But that was pretty much the case for everyone I played with in that Sampdoria side. There's been an excellent rapport among everyone, between the players and the staff, and Gianluca Vialli is now getting on a bit, so we're quite happy to listen to him when he speaks up. Good evening. I wanted to ask you your thoughts on Luis Enrique as a head coach. And what strikes you most about seeing his teams play? I think he's an excellent coach. And I'm not just saying that because he won the Champions League with Barcelona. I'm saying it because all of his teams, and that went even for when he was coaching at Roma, are all teams that play good football, and I think that's crucial. If a coach is able to get all of his teams playing well, regardless of whether they win matches in the end, I think that's significant, and it shows that he's a very capable coach.
Allora, non abbiamo recuperato Caceres, passiamo a Andrea Santoni del Corriere dello Sport.
Eccoci qua. Salve Roberto, buonasera.
Good afternoon, Roberto.
Senti, per la prima volta da quando in queste 5 settimane
For the first time in the last 5 weeks,
non è una cosa che forse dipende da te,
we are facing the prospect, and this is not necessarily down to you, but we're not necessarily that worried about tomorrow night's match. People almost feel that Italy are already in the final. That's how things are back home.
insomma ci possiamo già
It almost feels like we can just turn up tomorrow night and get the game won.
strano vizio italiano, no? Prima
Is that just a quirk of the Italian culture, overconfidence, optimism?
l'errore che sarebbe esiziale fare domani, cioè pensare
Is that a mistake we need to avoid tomorrow night? Thinking that the worst has already behind us and you can approach the game saying, okay, we're on an even keel, we can match these easily. No, I hope for once you're absolutely right about this. That's what I hope. But we know that it won't be that easy. We know that we need to produce a big performance because Spain are a top side. We're in the semi-finals of the European Championship, and so it's very unlikely to find easy opposition.
Caceres, prego.
Ciao mister, una pregunta, mañana el estadio prácticamente se llenará con 60.000
The stadium will be virtually full tomorrow, all of them British. Do you think that the fans will influence the game at all? And what do you make of the fact that teams from both countries will not really be able to attend the game?
Beh, questa la trovo una cosa ingiusta, sinceramente.
I think it's pretty unfair, if I'm perfectly honest. I think it's very unfair indeed.
Dire che è meglio giocare davanti a pubblico.
That said, we're better off playing in front of any crowd as opposed to playing in front of a small number of people. I think that's what's great about sport, football and entertainment in general. But I do think it's very unfair that we don't have half of the stadium full of Italian fans and the other half full of Spaniards.
Monaco, lo colleghiamo.
Eccomi mister, buongiorno. Nel tuo staff hai
Good afternoon.
uno che conosce molto bene Luis Enrique. È stato
In your staff, you've got someone that knows Luis Enrique very well. He played under him. Have you spoken to Daniele De Rossi about him? And what do you expect from Luis Enrique tactically? Do you think they'll sit back or do you think they'll try and attack you?
Oramai da diverso tempo, molti anni.
I think for a number of years now, Spain have had this mentality. They dominated world football over the last 20 years, and I don't think they're going to change their game plan now. As I said earlier on, Luis Enrique is a top-class coach based on what he's proven. And I also think he did a good job when he was at Roma.
Non ci ha detto tante cose anche perché stiamo
Daniele De Rossi hasn't told us too much because it was a while ago that he played under Luis Enrique, because he might have even changed his brand of coaching since then, so things might be a bit different.
RTL 102.5.
Buongiorno, volevo chiederle la prima cosa se
Good afternoon.
ha preso tutte le decisioni su
Have you already made all of your decisions with regards to the starting 11? Will Ciro Immobile start? Secondly, you come into this semi-final almost as favourites because Italy have done better than Spain, and does that add more pressure than you're used to?
Beh, l'Italia e la Spagna se sono qua vuol dire che hanno fatto bene entrambe.
If Italy and Spain have made it thus far, it means that we've done very well. If we're into the semi-final, it means that we deserve to be at this stage of the competition. So I think it's 50-50 with regards to who has the tag of favourites. Ciro Immobile is still the proud recipient of the European Golden Shoe. I think he's someone that scored more goals than anyone else in the last few years. And often in a major tournament like this, the most maligned player can often prove to be the match winner, so we're fairly relaxed on that score. We'll now give priority to those that haven't asked any questions thus far.
Buongiorno Roberto.
Buongiorno.
Good afternoon, Roberto. Hi. Two very quick questions. Is everyone fit and available for tomorrow night? Because I don't think Belotti and Toloi trained with the group yesterday. Secondly, do you expect it to be a different game to the Belgium match? Spain will also try and boss proceedings. How can we try and actually control things ourselves? Thank you. They will do what they are able to do, and we'll try and play our own game, and that's what will make it an excellent match. Spain are a side packed full of talented players. The same goes for us. And I think it should produce an excellent game of football. As for Andrea Belotti and Rafael Toloi, Belotti picked up a knock in the Belgium match, and so we decided not to take any risks with him, whereas Rafa picked up a knock in training, but I think both of them should be okay for tomorrow night. One last question then.
Ciao Roberto.
Good afternoon, Roberto. I wanted to ask you the following. Chiellini and Bonucci have been the subjects of praise throughout the world, the best defensive partnership in the world. Can Chiellini manage 3 games in a row between now and the end of the season? As for the praise, I think it's been a number of years now that I've heard they're the best centre-back pairing in world football. But their strength is that they want to prove that that is still the case match in, match out. And I think that's very important for a player to prove that they are the best in their position with every game that passes. Whether Giorgio is able to withstand 3 matches, we hope so, but if he were not able to play, we've got Francesco Acerbi, Alessandro Bastoni, who are in good form themselves. We hope that everyone is fit and firing as ever. Hi Roberto, first and foremost, the best of luck. People have been writing and saying it's tiki-taka against tiki-talia. But I'm not sure I necessarily agree, because I think your ball possession is based around trying to attack the opposition goal, as opposed to Spain's style of play, which was successful in terms of being very patient in possession. This is a brand of football that Spain have played over the last 15 or 20 years, and it has brought incredible success to Spanish football, and it continues to happen because they are able to play very well in that system. Our style of play is slightly different. We are Italy. We can't necessarily become Spanish overnight. We have our own way of playing football, and we'll try and be true to that. Did you see Italy basketball team yesterday? Did you watch it all together? What a feat for them to have qualified for the Olympics. Could that inspire you? You're also on foreign ground. Could that help you? Coming up against the home side just as they did. Yes, of course we watched it. We're all big basketball fans, so we were well aware of yesterday's basketball match. We knew it was very important. We watched it and we celebrated because it was absolutely extraordinary. It's not easy to win away at Serbia. And so it was a very memorable match, and it will be going forward. Thank you very much, everyone. See you tomorrow.